With regards to what we can buy or experiences we can have with our hard-earned money, there seems to be no limit. Especially with all these tactical marketing firms, it's easy to fall victim to these companies that rely on your money in a society aimed towards spending. You may not even be aware that you are starting to fall into these traps. You might wake up one day wondering why you're strapped for cash, with no spare income and nothing saved for the future. You work a full-time job and earn a good living, but all you do is smash the alarm and pay your bills. Hey there, welcome to Usable Wisdom, where we will be showing you the latest tips and tricks in the financial space, as well as business and entrepreneurship. If you want success in your life and business, then you came to the right channel. Because we will be uploading more videos like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more life-changing content. So now, rather than feeling like you'll never be successful in the end, consider these 7 money traps the middle class must avoid. Number 7. Going deeply into student debt. Having to borrow money to attend college to even further your education is a common route. The degree you'll receive may enable you to earn significantly more money in the workforce. With an average student loan debt of over $37,000 per borrower, this isn't a decision to be taken lightly, as this amount can be burdening when starting your career. One issue is that several students choose the incorrect field. This could indicate that they simply do not want to do the job for which they studied, because they did not understand the job duties, or because they have changed their views about their career path. Countless students fail to conduct adequate research to fully comprehend the expense of obtaining a degree and the salaries they will earn upon graduation. Spending $37,000 on education only to earn $44,000 in the labor force is a common mistake. Besides this, attending a costly and highly regarded school whose tuition is out of reach can be detrimental. There are numerous ways to increase the chances of making the correct decision while achieving a high return on investment that does not break the bank. Number 6. Not investing. It's no surprise that it's a good idea to start putting money into your future as early as possible. The earlier you start, the quicker you'll be financially free when the value of your investments begins to grow. Even though this is generally acknowledged, a common practice is postponing the habit of investing for a variety of reasons. Several people do not invest because they want to enjoy their lives before they are too old. Others are aware that they should invest, but choose to put it off until later. Paying yourself first and putting aside a certain amount of every paycheck might be the best way to ensure you're on the right track. But many people still struggle to do so. Number 5. Keeping high interest debt. Whereas debt, in particular, isn't a bad thing, debt with a high interest rate is the real issue. This is most usually in the form of a credit card, but it can also take the form of a car or student loan. Credit card companies are notorious for charging exorbitant interest rates that make paying off the balance with the minimum payment practically impossible. The average credit interest rate, according to the Federal Reserve, is around 16%. So rather than earning a 16% return on your investment and having compound interest work in your favor, compound interest is working against you. In contrast, the S&P 500's average annual return is around 10%. As a result, it's usually not a good idea to start investing until these expensive loans are paid off. To make matters worse, the majority of these debts are the result of purchases of items with little to no monetary value. These are items you purchase that you no longer use, are worthless, or worse, you can't remember what you purchased, but the debt will haunt you around for years. Number 4. Thinking you can get rich quick. The very last thing a young person likes to hear is that building wealth takes a long time. Working 40 hours each week, 50 weeks each year for the coming years isn't the most appealing idea. Several alternatives will expedite the process. It takes a very long time to make a lot of money from your investments. Just ask any typical millionaire, and they'll tell you that getting there was a long and tedious process. It is common for investors to take some time before realizing that there are a few shortcuts to investing. They may believe that they can become wealthy by doing something other than traditional retirement planning, such as purchasing a hot stock or day trading. But this frequently backfires and results in financial loss. That isn't to say you shouldn't experiment with more speculative investments on occasion, but your best bet is to invest primarily in something with a long track record and reserve a portion of your finances for speculative alternatives. Number 3. Working for less than what you're worth. Employers frequently pay their employees less than what they're worth. Then again, they're expecting people to do a job for as little money as possible. Employers are said to pay their employees only enough to keep them from quitting. How many people do you know whose employer hasn't given them an increase in years? Or who received a raise that was only 3% or less than the inflation rate? This signifies you're being paid less than you were in the previous year, despite having more experience. When you consider the significant difficulties employers are having in locating qualified candidates and the cost of replacing employees who leave, that is utterly outrageous. Finding another job could result in a significant pay increase. If you are being paid less than you are worth, if you enjoy your job, consider politely but adamantly requesting a raise, and be prepared by knowing the market rates for your position. If your employer denies you what you're worth, be prepared to change jobs. While changing jobs can be unpleasant and bothersome, a 30% raise may make it worthwhile. Number 2. Buying too much house. It's easy to get carried away with a lovely new home, complete with the kitchen of your fantasies, and more room than you realize what to do with. The stately curb appeal and spacious backyard are sure to impress. Home ownership is an emotional experience, and it's easy to spend too much money and end up with a housing cost that's too high for your income. You want to appear wealthy and successful to your friends and family, yeah? How else will they recognize you earn a lot of money? The reality is, they generally don't care because you're the one who does. It may be tempting to use every dollar of your mortgage pre-approval, but it's not the best idea. Although the house's value is likely to rise, this is no fun when you can't afford to maintain your car or take a vacation. When you consider taxes, insurance, maintenance, utilities, other expenses, and the cleaner you'll need to assist with all that space, this expenditure can easily consume more than half of your income. Number 1. Taking out a huge car loan. Once your friends start their first full-time job, they will most likely recompense themselves with a brand new car. The car may be new and shiny, but it comes with a huge loan that will not be paid off for several years. This is one of the most dangerous money baits because once you get into the cycle of car financing, it's difficult to get out. It's also one of the most difficult items to finance due to its high cost and the fact that it's a depreciating asset. There is no simple option around the cost for those of us who require a vehicle. Nevertheless, reducing costs by purchasing a dependable used vehicle that won't require much maintenance and won't lose half its value during the first few years will be advantageous. This is a much better practice to develop until you can afford the car you desire. Numerous money traps can mess up your financial situation. The excellent thing is that by preventing these major and common money traps, you will be far more likely to succeed. Rather than squandering all of your money on an outrageously high car payment or a larger and more expensive home than you require, invest it in assets that will help finance your future lifestyle. You won't remember that new car you bought 3 decades ago, but you'll be overjoyed if you made an investment and it compounded several more times over. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something usable today. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe for more content like this. With that said, have a great day and see you in the next one.